And since we're talking about sex, what does that word actually mean?
Under Title IX, what does the term sex mean?
We think it's properly interpreted pursuant to its ordinary traditional definition of biological sex, and I think probably given the time it was enacted, reproductive biology is probably the best way of understanding that.
Sex has a very simple definition. From Merriam-Webster Dictionary Online, we read, either of the two major forms of individuals that occur in many species and that are distinguished respectively as female or male, especially based on their reproductive organs and structure. Now, I would go one step further because reproductive organs are the sign of your sex, but it's actually determined at conception by your DNA. Now, Justice Alito went further in his questioning of the attorney for the Idaho respondents.
All right, suppose this school that has a boys, let's say, track team and a girls' track team. The school has that. And a student who has the genes and the reproductive system of a male and had those at birth and has never taken puberty blockers, never taken female hormones, never had any gender-altering or affirming surgery, says, nevertheless, I am a woman. That's who I am. Can the school say, no, you cannot participate on the girls' team?
So you're just a birth sex male who has all the advantages of birth sex male hormones, and can the school bar him from the women's team? Yes, they can.
But that person, is that person not a woman in your understanding? If the person says, I sincerely believe I am a woman, I am in fact a woman. Is that person not a woman?
I would respect their self-identity in addressing the person, but in terms of the statute, I think the question is, does that person have a sex-based biological advantage that's going to make it unfair for that person to be part of the women's team? And that's the rationale for the regulation, and so that's the way we would be testing that hypothetical.
Well, isn't it amazing how convoluted we can make things in an attempt to get our way? Can a school bar a boy from the girls' sports team? Terms like birth sex male, trans female, and cisgender are nothing but an attempt to confuse the simple fact of sex in an attempt to allow boys to play on the girls' team. Even Ms. Hartnett recognizes that the rationale for the law is the sex-based biological advantages males have over females. Justice Sotomayor went even further in questioning the attorney for West Virginia. She proposed this, I hope hypothetical.
All right, embrace it. All the scientific evidence showed that there's no difference between cisgender girls and trans girls. I know there's a fight about it.
It hurts.
I know it hurts. But assume it.
Except there can be no legitimate scientific evidence that there's no difference between cis girls and trans girls. Genetic and biological differences are a fact. People can try to hide that fact, even mutilate their bodies to impersonate the opposite sex, but the statement is not just ludicrous, but offensive to reality.